It seems like everything is a trilogy these days. Movie sequels, movie prequels, books, whatever. I thought Mohammed Hijab was done milking this situation with Lars Thorson. He's the guy who's been burning Qurans in Norway. However, Mohammed Hijab recently spewed out a third video on this topic and the tone is getting darker.
How are you guys doing? Many of you will be familiar with this figure, this individual who is referred to now as the Quran burner, because he's a one-trick pony with the only ability that he has demonstrated is the ability to turn on the lighter.
If he's known outside of Norway, it's because you keep posting stuff on YouTube about him in order to manipulate money out of your subscribers. Probably why you have that creepy grin slapped all over your face every time you make a new video.
And to put that flame onto paper. Very low skill indeed. But this individual has recently made a fumbling embarrassment of himself. Let's take a look at the clip.
Before we take a look at the clip, note the words Hijab used there. He made a fumbling embarrassment of himself. He wants you to believe that what you're about to watch is a man making a mistake which no one else was involved in.
As you can see, this individual now literally tossing and turning in his vehicle. It's like an army vehicle, a military style vehicle. He's in no war whatsoever. He's in fact in some confrontation with a Muslim woman. And somehow his car was fumbling and turning around the motorway.
Somehow his car was turned over on the motorway? That's because another car deliberately smashed into his several times at high speed until he was rammed off that motorway, as you can see in the video you just posted. The two women in the other car, believed to be Muslims who protested his latest Quran burning, have been arrested on charges of causing grievous bodily harm. I'm surprised it isn't for attempted murder looking at that video.
Just like he himself has been fumbling and turning up in different places in the Muslim community trying to attack them.
That's a lie, Mojab. He's not been attacking Muslims. He has been burning Qurans, which is not the same as those women trying to kill him.
The last time this individual was coming out and burning the Qurans, he helped us raise $300,000, for the raising of for the building of a masjid in one of the biggest, in fact, the biggest masjid project in the whole of Norway.
$300,000 is it this time? Every time you make a new video, the amount seems to change, and now the currency has changed as well from euros to dollars. It's almost like you find it hard keeping up with your own fundraiser.
And here he is in the month of Dhul Hijjah, making a fool of himself at our advantage once again. Because, of course, it will be my time to remind you that this masjid project is not finished, it's not complete yet.
Well, there's a shock. Seems like this Norwegian Islamic Centre grift has been going on for about a decade. You and half the UK Dawa circus appear to be begging for money for this thing. Do you think it will be built, I don't know, before the end times?
And we require more donations in these very important days. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told us, ما من أيام العمل الصالح خير فيهن من هذه الأيام العشر أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. There's no days that good deeds are better than these 10 days.
Of course there isn't. Every time you beg for money, it's always the most important days ever to give a donation. You said the exact same thing 3 months ago during Ramadan.
And if I were to give the fumbling buffoon, who's impervious to rational inquiry, and who is an embarrassment to himself and his own community, one piece of advice, it would be the following.
Make sure he drives a bigger truck so the children of Allah have a harder time trying to kill him?
I would say, look, forget about this facade of being a military man or an army general or something. That maybe you have some delusion of grandeur. You think you're some kind of crusader or something like that. Forget about that.
Yeah, it's funny how you keep saying Lars Thorson thinks he's a military man or a crusader now because he was driving a Jeep. You know what I think really signals that someone thinks they're some kind of military man or crusader? Someone who walks up to bars and restaurants armed with a submachine gun and starts shooting people. Zaniar Matapur is on trial for the murder of 2 people along with 21 other people who were shot during the Oslo terrorist attack on the 25th of June. He appears to have been deliberately targeting gay bars to terrorise the LGBT community in Norway. That happened just last month and less than 2 weeks before you put this video out. That terrorist attack came a day after the conviction of Espen Andersen Brathen for another multiple murder, the Kongsberg attack on the 13th of October last year. This guy definitely seemed to think he was a crusader as he wandered around a peaceful Norwegian town with a bow and arrow, firing at whoever he came across. He murdered 5 people and injured 3 others. Guess what these 2 men have in common? That's right, they're both members of the same religion of peace that you are, Mojab. Considering all this, you claiming Muslim victimhood in Norway because an old man burnt a Quran is particularly disgusting. Worse still, rather than condemning the perpetrators, you are smirking about another violent attack from Muslims that could have killed not only Larson, but the 4 other people that were in his vehicle at the time, as well as any other number of people on the motorway if his Jeep crashed into someone else after he'd been rammed.
If it's a rational debate you're after, then the Muslim community is ready. If it's some legal, physical thing you're after, I'm sure there are many elderly gentlemen of your own age who would oblige you in that as well in the Muslim community. So just choose what you're looking for.
And as the final act in your little play, you now seem to be dog whistling to Muslim senior citizens to have a fight with this guy. Nulo. Considering recent events involving Islam in Norway, I know one thing for sure. Quran burning is not the most pressing issue.